Joining me now to talk more about the community that's been impacted by this mass shooting is the president of the Buffalo chapter of the NAACP, Reverend Mark Blue. Reverend, so great to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So what was your first reaction when you actually saw this suspect in court?
He should have been charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder and premeditated murder for the three that survived this horrific shooting. We have to do more. Individuals like this should not have a right to carry arms. A lot of things could have been done to help prevent this. I'm glad the governor did sign that executive order, but still, we have to deal and talk about racism in America, because African Americans have been under, and I would say this, under fire and talked about and maligned and misused for over 400 years. And if we don't talk about this incident and bring up race to this white supremacist, we are not doing a fair job as a community.
And not only are you a reverend, but you are chapter president of the NAACP. So you've got the spiritual side, and you've also got the political side of things here, where you can bring about even more in-depth perspective. So what are you going to do, as you wear both of those hats, to create that conversation, particularly there in Buffalo as we move forward?
Well, one of the things that we're doing in immediate need is we're having not only just prayer visuals, but we're going to be talking with more community leaders and our political affiliates about a plan after this, because the care for our community is going to take decades to overcome. So we're looking at even the food deserts or the food apartheid in the Jefferson community area. We're also looking at how we can deal with housing, how we can have better schools. And there's a whole plethora of things on our itinerary to deal with. I'm glad that we are on the map so we can get the needed resources to overcome the obstacles of this racism and of this white supremacy that has been in our community. We definitely want to support the families, because the families and the communities are victims. We are all victims. Every shooting that takes place against an African American or a minority, we are all become victims. And we need to make sure that we bring about a healing to the families of those who have been murdered, the families of those who survived the shooting, and the community at large. It's very important that we don't forget the community at large and the victims. It's very important that we remember them and honor their sacrifices that they've made to bring about this change and this spotlight on our community. No one goes to a grocery store with the intent of not coming home. They went there with the absence of fear. Now our community has fear at its core, and we have to overcome that fear.
And we'll talk about in a moment how you plan to do that, but you just mentioned the victims and honoring the victims. You are actually involved in the funeral tomorrow for one of the victims. Just talk to me for a moment, talk to all of us about how personal this is for you, Reverend.
One of the things about our community, we may not know each and every individual, but when we go to that community, we go to that TOPS, there is a period of recognition. We recognize everyone in our community. I do not know the young man is going to be funeralized on tomorrow, but we will be there to show support for the family and for the rest of the community. He did a very valiant thing. He was there just helping community members, putting groceries in their cars. He was a deacon who took people to the grocery store. He was a very vital cog in that community. And we need to make sure that not just him, but each and every one of the victims who are deceased and those who survived this massacre and the community at large are being taken care of in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because it doesn't end with them. It ends when racism ends. It ends when white supremacy ends. It ends when we can feel comfortable and safe walking in our communities. But we're going to be having a series of meetings, not just with our business community, but with the community at large and our political affiliates. I want to thank our mayor and those who are there in first line support, and our Buffalo Police, who are doing a good job. They need to do a better job, but they're doing a good job. And we're all going to be coming together and formalizing a plan going forward, how we can take care of our community better, how we can provide the resources that our community needs, because it's something that we're going to be living with for the rest of our lives. No one can take that horrible scene away in just a night, in just a day, a week, a month, or a year. We have to overcome this, and we will heal. We will heal.
And as you think about healing and talking to leaders like you, and yesterday we spoke to New York State Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes. This happened in her district, as you know. She advocated to get this Tops supermarket into this community. Today, Tops released a statement saying it's committed to reopening as soon as possible. How are you going to help do that?
We have to look at PTSD that everybody's facing in this community. Some people may not go back to that Tops. I know if they want to get it open, but just the horrible picture of going there that it represents in the community. Some people have told me, I'm not going back to that Tops. And I can understand that sentiment, because every time you go, you're going to see that image in your mind. One of my nephews, his brother, was in there during the actual shooting. And it's indescribable, and you cannot put words to the fear and the horror and the trauma that they have endured. But we do need another community, another store in that area, because it is a food apartheid that we have to deal with. So I'm hoping that another time, another opportunity can come where we can readdress that issue. But I do understand the needs of having a grocery store in that area.
It's going to be a slow journey for sure. President of Buffalo NAACP chapter and Reverend Mark Blue, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.